Hello, my name is Christy Ryland, and I am your son or daughter's Career and Financial Awareness teacher at Cocalico High School for this fall semester of the 2021-2022 school year. What I'm going to share with you throughout the rest of this video is my course syllabus, which explains what is covered in the course, my expectations for my classroom or my classroom policies, and my grading procedure. I will then show you my Schoology page and how I set that up for my class and how your students can find what they need to find on a regular basis. And then I will wrap up with providing my contact information. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to contact me at any time. You are seeing the syllabus for my Career and Financial Awareness class that was distributed to students on the first day of the semester. On this syllabus, it covers what they will learn in the class, some of the things that they will do, materials that they will need each day, the reason for the class. So on the left-hand side, down through what you'll learn are the different units that we cover in this class. So we start with a careers unit and spend some time talking about how do you look for a job, how do you fill out a job application, how to complete a resume and write a cover letter, what are some tips that they need for having a successful interview, and some career interest and abilities surveys and inventories. And then they wrap up that unit with researching a career or careers that they are interested in and making a presentation of their research to the class. We then move on to the paychecks and income taxes unit, because once you have a job, what comes next? You get paid and you have to pay income taxes. So they learn about the different types of pay and how people get paid. They learn about taxes, income taxes, and the income tax forms. So what a W-4 form is, what a W-2 form is, what the tax table looks like, what the Form 1099 is that they get from their bank when they earn interest, and the 1040 form, and they learn how to do some income tax problems. So eventually they will be able to do their own income tax return. We then move into banking, which is actually split into two units. So we start with the savings unit and talk about how to calculate interest and the different types of savings accounts that are available and other banking services. And then we get into checking, and they learn how to record checks and other transactions in a check register, how to write checks, how to read a bank statement, and how to balance their checkbook. After that, we move into a credit unit. Well, they'll learn about what credit is, how to establish good credit, what's the difference between good credit and bad credit, and how do they come about, what a credit score is, what credit cards are, the different types of loans that they can apply for, and then some things related to bankruptcy. We then move into budgeting, and they learn how to do a budget. They learn what a budget is, how to set up a budget problem, how it's important to understand a budget for your needs and then your wants. They learn how to calculate their net income, their monthly expenses, and then the spendable income that they have left over. After the budgeting unit, we get into a housing unit, and most of the time in that housing unit is spent on apartments, because most likely that's where they're going to spend most of their time after high school. Right after high school is looking for an apartment. So we talk about what's involved with finding an apartment, being able to understand a lease and rental agreement and not sign something until you truly understand it. And then we do spend some time talking about buying a house and what's involved with buying a house and having a good down payment and calculating what the house will cost you over the length of a mortgage. And then we wrap up with investments, and we spend time talking about stocks, bonds, mutual funds, other investment options. We sometimes try to do a little stock market game to see who can make the wisest decisions about their investments. So those are all the units that we cover. And what are the things that they will do? Again, I already touched on the career research and presentation. They've learned how to fill out a 1040 form and a job application. There will be different projects for each unit, and some of those projects involve writing activities. As we discuss the contents of each unit, there will be class discussions that they will be expected to participate in. We cover several different computer applications: Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, iMovie, Google, Google Docs, Google Sheets, sharing Google files. We do some internet activities along the way. And then there's a project called the Financial Management Simulation, where they will work with a partner or in groups of 3 to go through financial transactions for a month for a given scenario, and they'll kind of see the day in and day out of what's involved and work together to stick with a budget and complete the transactions. Each day they need something to keep their papers in, so there isn't a textbook for this class, so there's a lot of handouts. So it can be a 3-ring binder or a folder. They need something to write with, and they need their laptop. Why they're here: this is a course that was established a while ago to help our students learn how to become more knowledgeable of using their money and the responsibilities that they're going to have when they get out of high school, and hopefully make them intelligent money managers. And then along the way, hopefully help them see the different career paths that are out there and help them find the path that might be right for them. The second page, or the back of this handout, covers my classroom rules. So I tell my students that the number one rule in my classroom is to be respectful to me, to be respectful to their peers, and also be respectful to themselves. So that's number one. I tell them beat the bell, so I expect them to be in class on time and ready to go. I have a rule with deadlines and turning assignments in on time, and if they're not turned in on time, they lose points for each day that it is late. I ask them to please read and follow all directions thoroughly so that they know what's expected. I expect them to come to class each day with a positive attitude. I want them to have goals for the course, for high school, and for life, and learn how to make them a priority. I ask them to clean up after themselves when they're finished, put their calculators and other materials away, take their papers with them at the end of class. I ask them to participate in class. Some days I actually grade them on their participation, and I have a can of popsicle sticks with their names on, and I pull those out randomly to call on students so that it's not always the same student volunteering, and so that everybody has to participate. I do have a sign out and sign in procedure for my class, so they need to have a pass, and they need to sign out every time they leave and sign in. And this is actually something that I will show you when I show the Schoology page. And then I expect them to mind their language. There's no reason for derogatory or abusive language in school, let alone my classroom. So those are my rules. As far as making up missed work, if they forgot to do their homework, forgot it at home, whatever, if they're missing something that is due, and they can't turn it in when it's due, they can turn it in late, but they need to know that they're going to lose points each day that it's late until they turn it in, or there are no more points available to earn. I do tell them to talk to me about their missing work, and we can work out a reduction in the number of points that are being lost depending on why it's not completed or turned in. If they were absent, I ask them to see me when they return for any handouts, papers, assignments that were given while they were out. They also can see this if they check Schoology while they were out. And again, I'll show you Schoology in just a little bit. If they've missed turning in an assignment, or missed a test, it's their responsibility to turn it in with a 2-week time frame. Otherwise, the grade becomes a 0. And it's up to them to see me to make up a test and when they're going to make it up. As far as how I grade my work, all my assignments in my class are points-based. Nothing is weighted more than another. Obviously, some will be more points than others, but there's no weighting of assignments. Some of the assignments will be graded based on just completing them, and I check that they complete them and give them credit, where others will be graded for correctness or accuracy. And the final grade calculation in my class is 45% of their first marking period grade, 45% of their second marking period grade, and then their final is worth 10%. And I did tell them the first day of class that their final is open note. So if they keep their notes in order, it should be easy to get a good grade on their final. We'll go over how my Schoology course is set up. So when students log into Schoology and go into their courses, they will see Block 2, which I've tried to make it easier for them to find my course rather than it blending in like all the other Schoology courses. So when they click on Block 2, it's going to take them to the Career and Financial Awareness Schoology page. So as I alluded to in the syllabus, they need to sign out and sign in when they leave. The links to do that electronically are found at the top of the Schoology page. I also have a computer as they enter and exit the room that's on a filing cabinet that they can use to sign out and sign in. So I tried to do this to cut back on paper and also on people forgetting to sign in and sign out. This is a better way for me to keep track of it. So they know, I've kind of drilled it into them that they need to make sure that they click on the link and sign out, and they click on the link to sign in when they come back. So that's, again, at the top of the page. There's also something that we do in this class. It's called Virtual Business Personal Finance. It's an online simulation of a lot of different personal finance lessons. And we did the first one together, and then students are expected to work on those on their own when they're finished with other work outside of the class. And I tell them at the end of the semester, they will get a grade for the number of lessons that they've completed and for how well they've completed them. So again, that's pretty much a self-paced simulation that they can work on at any time. The most important thing when they come in is to look for today's date, and I have a bulletin or a clipboard or a bulletin board posted for the day. And this will tell them exactly what we're going to be doing for the day, and sometimes we'll let them know what materials they might need. So I'm trying to get them into the habit of the first thing they do when they come into class, sit down, open their computers, get onto Schoology and see what's on tap for the day. I also project this up on the screen for when they come in. But there shouldn't ever be a question as to what's going on because that's posted each day. And it is, the current day is the one that's at the top of the page. So as I scroll down through, you can see that this was the rest of the week. Underneath that particular day, if there's any files that we're going to need for the day, they are posted there. And I will give them instructions as to when they need to download or what they need to do with them. If there's an assignment, it will be listed there. If there's a test, it will be listed there. So they just need to know what's going on for that particular day. Once the week is over, I organize them into weekly folders. So if a student was absent or is missing something from a previous week, they can simply come into that weekly folder and see what happened on the day that they were absent. So again, I do that at the end of each week so that they know where to find materials that they missed from a previous week when they were absent. So this is how Schoology works. I typically have a calendar along the side here of what we're going to do each day, and also if there's an assignment that's due, it will be posted there. There isn't anything right now as we're going into a new week, and they don't have anything due right now. But that's another place that they can check to see what's upcoming for the week. And again, this bulletin here is what's happening that particular day. Screen right now, you will find my contact information. So my email address is probably the best way to get in touch with me because I have access to my computer all day. And if an email comes in during the day and I have time, I can respond to it rather quickly. There's also the school phone number where you'll be asked to leave a voicemail message, and when I get the message and have time, I will call you back. I thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and again, I encourage you to contact me at any time if you have any questions or concerns. Thanks and have a great day.